Hey my friends, this is Daniel Alley, and today I want to talk with you about 10 signs that people are competing with you. In this video, I want to share with you exactly what you need to know about your competitors and what you need to do to prepare against their attacks, their hate, and their jealousy. So please listen up. The first sign that someone is competing with you is that they give maximum effort. Basically, they give desperate attempts of getting your attention through trying their hardest. There's gonna be so many people in your life that are gonna try to compete with you by trying their hardest to work against you. And you have to be prepared for these kind of people by understanding who they are and what they're really about. Confront them if you need to. Figure out exactly who you're dealing with. If someone is giving maximum effort against you, then you need to be aware of their purpose. The second sign that someone is competing against you is that they're always one-upping you. Have you ever been in a situation where people are always talking about all the things that they do that are better than you? There's so many people that are gonna one-up you because they feel inadequate about themselves. If they feel insecure about who they are, they're going to try to downplay your achievements by one-upping you and telling you what they're worth, because they don't care about what you're worth. All they care about is showing off about how much they're worth. Through many conversations, you might talk about an amazing experience that you went through. All of a sudden, you find yourself backpedaling because someone just interrupted you by sharing a story that must be better than yours. What are you supposed to do? Well, most likely, you're gonna find yourself backpedaling and you're not gonna know how to respond to that person except by one-upping them. Don't play that game, my friends, because the moment you play that game is the moment you start to engage with their ego. If someone is trying to claim more accomplishments than you are, then don't answer them back with an insult. Don't try to one-up them. Don't play their game. Just listen to them. Let them have their way. And understand that this is not a kind of person that you want to deal with in the future. The third sign that someone is competing with you is through insults. There's gonna be so many people who throw side shots at you. They're going to partake in passive-aggressive behavior. They're gonna use words like always and never to make sure that you feel guilty about who you are and what you're trying to accomplish. Like I said before, when someone is competing with you, they're gonna qualify their statements by using the words always and never. They'll say things like, you always look out for those people, you never look out for me. You always show up late. You never come on time. You always do what you want. You never pay attention to my needs. Many times these statements will be made among the closest people in your life. Because once they use this passive-aggressive tone and start throwing insults at you, you need to understand exactly what they're saying by understanding also what they're not saying. Address the problems, deal with the confrontation, and ask the questions that will help you to figure out exactly what this person really wants. The fourth sign that someone is competing with you is stubbornness. Maybe you've talked to people in your life and you found out that they're not taking your advice. Maybe you've learned that they're not as loyal as they once were. Maybe you've discovered that they're not the same person that they were even 1 year ago. If you see any signs of negative behavior or even ignorance, that means that someone might be competing against you. The first signs of stubbornness usually comes when people start to avoid you. Maybe you've been talking to someone consistently for so long, but all of a sudden, they start avoiding you. They start avoiding certain conversations. They start avoiding asking you for help. In fact, they avoid you completely because they know that you're going to tell them the truth. And the truth is that so many people love to live within their darkness. And they know that you're going to bring the light. No one wants to see the light if they're living in darkness. They know you're going to expose them. They know you're going to bring the truth. They know that you are going to endow the wisdom that will help them see exactly what they're supposed to do. If you come across anyone that you care about and you find that they're acting in a stubborn manner, what you need to do is change your approach. Now, even if your approach has worked in the past, it doesn't mean that it's going to work right now. That person needs to see a different version of you in order to change their thoughts, their feelings, and their actions. You can only help them by doing your part and taking responsibility over your own situation. Once they start to see your progress, they might even change their heart, and instead of competing with you, they'll actually join you. The fifth sign that someone is competing with you is if you feel extreme hate. You see, sometimes you're gonna see that people are jealous of you for no reason. Sometimes you're going to feel their vibe, and vibes speak louder than words. I'm sure there's been many times where someone has walked into the room and all of a sudden that energy changes completely. If you feel like this person has drained your energy, then most likely this person is competing with you. The real truth is that hate and jealousy is done in silence. We don't know the real reason why people feel the way they do. All we can focus on is who we are and what we can do to focus on the goals we know we need to pursue. The last thing you want to do with anyone who secretly hates you is to confront them, because the first thing they're going to do is deny it. Just leave them alone and be at peace with yourself so that you can be at peace with everyone else. The sixth sign that someone is competing against you is that they will straight up admit it. They're gonna tell you that they're your competitors. They're gonna say things like, yo, I'm jealous of you, man. How are you so good at everything? I can't wait to get revenge on you next time. A lot of times you're gonna hear these people talk about how much they want to get back at you. They're gonna speak about their revenge, and you're going to see it very clearly from their words, from their facial expressions, and through their terms. One of my favorite competitive sports is basketball. And a lot of times when I find myself beating someone and they know they can't win, they'll say something like, oh man, I haven't played in a year, man. Wait until I get in shape. I'm gonna get you next time. A lot of times they have no credence to what they're saying because they were playing the whole entire week and they've been preparing to beat me. They just couldn't do it because they weren't actually ready. A lot of times people will talk about all the things that they want to do, but they have no idea of what it actually takes to prepare for those opportunities. Now, even though a lot of people will admit their competition in an obvious way, some people will also admit it in a very subtle way. They'll say things in a positive way instead of a negative way. Instead of talking you down, they're gonna be talking you up. This is called flattery. Flattery is the art of making people feel so good about who they are so that eventually you can have the information to expose them for who you think they're not. The truth is that a lot of people use flattery so that they can understand you more. They know that once they talk you up, you're going to reveal more about yourself so they can take that information and use it as dirt against you in the future. This is one of the secret weapons of competition that a lot of people use to destroy their enemies. If anyone in your life is using flattery, you have to ask yourself, what is this person's goal? Because many times, over-complimenting you are the weapons to destroy your soul. The seventh sign that someone is competing against you is that they will downplay your accomplishments. They're going to talk down on how great you actually are by comparing you to what you could have been. For example, if you went to a pretty good college, they might say, well, you didn't go to an Ivy League school, so you're not qualified to talk about that subject. Or let's say they're talking about physical fitness. They might say, oh, you talk about how fit you are, but you don't have a six-pack like that guy. Or they might say something like this: that woman talks a big game. She thinks she's the boss of her industry, but I don't see any accolades, any awards, or any accomplishments. Here's the truth, my friends. There's a lot of people who are jealous of your success. And they're going to try to downplay your accomplishments because they don't feel good about their own accomplishments. They feel like they're doing you a service. They feel like this is an attempt to humble you. But my friends, they don't understand that you are already being humbled along the process of your success. They don't understand all the blood, sweat, tears, and years that you put into your work, into your craft, into your grind to create the success that you have right now. So basically what I'm saying is that if you find anyone downplaying your accomplishments, many times you'll realize that these people have nowhere close to the level of accomplishments that you actually have. The 8th sign that someone is competing against you is that they have a copycat mentality. You see, there's gonna be a lot of times that will copy every single thing you do, word by word, print by print, step by step. And so you have to understand exactly who your competitors are. Now, this could be either personally or professionally. When I was going to college, I was figuring out my style. I was learning how to dress. And so I decided that I wanted to wear hats. One of the first hats I wore was a fedora. As I continued to wear my fedora, the weeks went by and I saw more and more people wearing fedoras too. After I was tired of wearing fedoras, I decided that I wanted to try Kangles. Now, when I started wearing Kangles, a few weeks later, people started to wear them too. I thought to myself, wow, what a phenomenon. Someone is doing exactly what I do, and some of them avoided me too, because that is what you're supposed to do when someone is competing with you. As I said, it can happen in business too. I was one of the first YouTubers that talked about personal development on YouTube. Now I see a plethora of other people who just decide to come on the screen and talk about the same things that I do, even taking some of my titles, taking some of my setups, and taking some of the ways that I speak on camera. Here's the truth, if someone is copying you and competing with you, take it as a compliment. Don't be insulted because someone wants to be like you. Instead, embrace them if you can and help them to become a better version of themselves. The 9th sign that someone is competing with you is that they try to control you. Now, you're gonna see a lot of times, people have these domineering personalities and they wanna control every single thing you do. They wanna compartmentalize all the action steps. They wanna make sure that they dominate you. And if you feel like you're encountering someone that has this kind of spirit, you either have to yield to them or you have to completely avoid them. Because these people could be your family members, they could be your neighbors, they could be your coworkers, they could be the people that are intimately involved in your life. And so you need to understand exactly who these people really are. Because some of the times you can afford to give them some attention. Other times you have to avoid them completely. And sometimes there could be a mix of both. If you understand their personality, then you'll understand why they need to fit within your reality. All I'm saying is this, if someone is trying to control you and they want to dominate you, understand exactly who they are and understand the part that they play within your life. And the 10th sign that someone is competing against you is that they show off. This is one of the biggest signs that you'll ever see. If people know that they need to show off to get your attention, that means that it is pure competition. A wise man once said that competition is a sin. And if you understand the goals that you have within, then you'll know exactly what you need to do in order to win. I'm gonna tell you straight up, you never need to brag. You never need to boast. You never need to make anyone else feel insecure about who they are and the goals that they want to pursue. All you need to do is focus on who you are and become a greater version of yourself. My friends, this is Daniel Alley, and I just shared with you 10 signs that someone is competing with you. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to leave a thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification button and share this video with someone that you know won't be competing with you anytime soon. If you like this video, make sure to type yes in the comment section below and also ask me any questions that you might have. Guys, focus on the biggest goals that you have, focus on the kind of person you need to be, and don't worry about your competitors anymore. I'll see you on the next video. Take care.